People that don't tip at restaurants are fucking assholes.
Why do Americans feel so entitled to tipping?
Go away if you're not gonna tip. Go back to Europe.
We're not tipping 18 to 20% in America. Stay home.
Tip me if you don't want to when I go pick your food up. Part of your order gonna be in my goddamn car.
If you don't have money to tip your server and you go out to eat and don't tip your server, I have zero respect for you.
Do you tip when you pick up a pizza?
Tipping at a restaurant is not optional, it's mandatory.
If you can't afford to tip, don't go out to eat. Take your knockoff Louis Vuitton and go back somewhere else.
Me, specifically, I will rob you.
Never once have I ever had black people tip me well.
Can we all admit that this tipping shit has gotten out of control?
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're diving into the tip culture. The tip culture, tipping culture. I know y'all heard about it a lot, but maybe y'all haven't heard about it. So today we'll be looking at 3 different perspectives. Yes, we'll be looking at the consumers, employees, and the service providers, right? So that we can see where are the opinions, and so we can also see all different sides so that you can put yourself in these people's shoes. But before we sip on this tea, y'all, I want to tell y'all again, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you for liking the videos, watching them, engaging, and all that good stuff. But you don't want to forget this again, y'all, because I've been dropping like over, I think in the past week I've dropped like 11 videos. In the previous days, past 2 days, I've dropped like 4 videos. So don't forget to turn on your notification bell, because every time I drop, y'all, it's tea to be sipped. You don't want to be last. You don't want to be last when it comes to sipping on this tea. But yeah, so without further ado, y'all, let's dive into this video.
Doorbell camera captured the embarrassing moment a food delivery driver tried to leave a note berating the customer for a lack of tip.
Hello.
Ignore it. You keep that.
Why?
Because I didn't see a tip on the app and I put a little card in there. So please keep that. I'm sorry.
No, I just had cash. Please take
It's okay. It's okay, because it's okay. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Hello. If you don't have money to tip your server and you go out to eat and don't tip your server, I have zero respect for you. I am a server making 5 something an hour and I live off of your tip. I don't care how many tables I have, how busy I look. I don't care. 9 times out of 10 I'm not making the money that you think I'm making. And it's crazy because there's so many servers out there and there's no awareness for this, it feels like. Like, the server industry does not get enough credit for how hard this shit is. It is not easy. It's back-breaking work. I work in a bar and grill, and I love my job, don't get me wrong, and I'm good at what I do. But it is so degrading to get stiffed, to work so hard, to smile at a table with a big smile on my face despite how stressed I am, and give you good service and then get no tip. Like, I didn't just work my ass off for you. There are good days and there are bad days, and today is a bad day, and I think that the service industry needs better pay. Because lately society's just not getting it.
Me out to be the villain here, because I'm not. I'm just gonna share my opinion. I've never been a server, but I never would, because I know the nonsense that they have to deal with on a daily basis, and I know I cannot manage it. I automatically respect someone who was or is a server. However, we need to stop blaming the customers and calling them cheap and stingy just because they don't tip, because tipping is not mandatory. It is a choice. 98% of the time when I go out to eat, I tip because my service is at least good. It just has to be good in order for you to get a tip. If your service is bad to the point where I don't want to come back, I'm not giving you a tip. But it is not the customer's job to pay your wage. We need to be taking this up with companies who are not paying their staff enough money. Tipping culture has gone insane in America. A lot of places nowadays add the gratuity to your receipt, so you don't even have the choice to choose how much you want to tip if you want to tip. blame the wage make.
I'll put this out here now so I stay accountable to this, but in 2024, I am no longer unnecessarily tipping. Before you start thinking I'm stingy or something, for service, I will definitely pay 20 to 25% on all of it. Restaurants, coffee, beauty services like haircuts and things like that. But the tablet tipping culture has gotten so out of control to the point where I now walk into a retail store and get a greeting card, like pick one out myself, go up to the register and check out, and there is a 20% suggestion waiting for me. I've heard of the tablets asking for tips at self-serve yogurt stations. Of course, in this country, we also have a trickle-down effect problem where businesses are not taking care of their employees appropriately. So therefore, the burden then falls on the consumer to support those employees' wages, which is not okay. So like I said, in the case of service industry jobs, I am more than happy to tip for my coffee being made, things like that. But like retail stores where no one is really helping you, like any retail, not just clothing and stuff, but I've seen it at alcohol stores, farmers market stands, individual little stalls, basically where the tip of 20% would suggest 20% of the cost of goods. Telling myself the people pleaser in this because every time that tablet gets flipped on me, I get such pressure.
I've been going so hard for black people, but never once have I ever had a black table tip me well, or on percentage. Like maybe once in a while, but I just had a table with 15 people, Hispanic, and then a table full of black people. It was vibes the whole time. I really gave great service. I always give great service. Do you know they did not tip? The bill was $600. They did not tip. And then they was doing the most. They was sending stuff back. They was asking for stronger drinks. Wanting free stuff and no. Mad at them.
But y'all know the argument. We do it to each other. And now we're taking that whole thing to restaurants. Not even we. Not me. Y'all that be doing that. Hey, hook me up. Hook me up, man. Hook me up with something, hook me. Now, bro, I know you and everything, but come on, pay like everybody else. Support the business, man. Pay full price. Come on, hook me up with some couple free, a couple, a little 50, 60 off. Come on, man. No, bro, just pay like everybody else. Like you pay for them clothes. You pay for them Gucci's, Balenciagas, from Pradas. Come on. Support the business or not. Me and all my friends, we tip out. We should tip out.
Tonight I had a table come in minutes before close, and they tipped me $2 on a $184 check, and they paid in 520s and 186 ones. They sat there on their phones. It was a mom, a dad, and a kid, and they each sat there on a separate phone call having a full conversation with whoever the hell they were talking to. Me and my trainee kept going up to them, right up to the table, saying hey guys, you guys ready? All right, you guys. And they are just ignoring us as if we are not standing in front of them, as if we have not opened our mouths and spoken words to them multiple times. Just blatant disrespect. And then when they finally do decide to order, it takes a solid 10 minutes for them to do so. And only 2 of them ordered. One of them wasn't going to have anything else. 10 minutes. I was standing there is this real life? They're wait, what's this? What's this? Wait, what's that? What sides y'all got? What's this? Wait, I have this. No, I'm gonna have that. No, I'm gonna have this. Wait. And then just staring at the menu in silence for 3 minutes, talking to wait, what you getting? What are you doing? Do you not care? At all? Obviously not. I even let you order shots after last call. The bartender was basically done. And I'm hey, can they get 2 more shots? She's yeah, that's fine. I gave you I gave you bread to go. I gave you drinks to go. You did not get bad service. Because me and my trainee did not let you know that we were annoyed. We had the whole smile on and the this and the that and bubbly and making jokes, and they got great service. They didn't get end of the night shit service because I don't give that. I've been working in restaurants for 20 years, and I understand this shit happens as part of the job. I get it. But it will never not infuriate me when it happens. Reason being is treating your server that way, or anyone else for that matter, is just a blatant disrespect for your fellow human. Hey, give me your face, slap. And that might sound corny, but that's literally what it is. As you walked out the restaurant, did it feel good to you? Were you yeah. Good for you. Yeah. Did you feel okay doing that? But you know, people like that don't think about things like that. They just don't. Because they have no conscience, they have no self-awareness, they don't have any kindness in their soul. Like, who raised you? That's what I want to know. Who raised you? God, man, like, oh, whoever you are, just know that you suck. You absolutely suck. And I hope your kid doesn't grow up to be like you, even though they probably will.
Okay, I saw this post on DoorDash. So I guess this guy didn't leave a tip to the DoorDash person. So they decided to deliver the food 45 minutes late, but not just that. The food was eaten and he left a note saying, leave a tip next time and don't bother trying to get me fired. I'm going back to Amazon. It's like, you know, you can actually choose to accept a ride if they were leaving a tip. You could have not accepted it, but you just decided to accept the trip. Accept the trip just to do this.
There is no freaking way. I just went to go get froyo where you make it yourself. Okay, I'm sitting there with my little bowl and I put my ice cream in and then I move over to my favorite section, the toppings, okay? And I put in some chocolate covered strawberries, some brownies, and then I move over to the little section where you have to weigh your ice cream and it gives you the total. And not gonna lie, y'all, that was some expensive froyo, but anything to make my stomach happy, of course. And so I take out my wallet, pull out my card, and I'm tapping it and it's not working. So I was like, okay, maybe I can swipe it. I swipe it and it's still not going through. And I was low-key getting embarrassed because like there's people behind me. And the worker comes up to me and he's like, it's not going through because it's asking you to tip. I was like, oh. And he was like, press the bottom right corner. And I was like, the no tip? And he goes, yeah, we don't get those tips anyway. The owner keeps them. We don't get paid enough. I was like, oh, but I'm just here for my froyo, okay? But like, I think it's crazy that these self-serve places are asking you to tip and the owners are keeping it. Like, that makes no sense at all.
Don't tip me if you don't want to when I go pick your food up. Part of your order gonna be in my goddamn car. Thank you.
At the risk of being called broke, I gotta ask. Can we all admit that this tipping shit has gotten out of control? And don't get me wrong, restaurants, I get it. Waitresses, waiters, I know y'all only making about 45 cents an hour. And that's crazy. So I get it. The minimum I tip is about 15%, and I could tip up to 100% of the bill. It just depends on how I'm feeling. The drunker I am, the more I'm finna tip. You understand me? But if I'm placing an order online for some food and you're making me pay online, like there's no option for me to pay at pickup, don't ask me for no damn tip. I ain't even seen the food yet. What? I haven't even seen the food. I don't know what's going on with the food. I could get there and it looked like trash and I'm already tipped 20%. You got to be kidding. What? And not to mention you folks that be providing services. I just seen this video. This girl went to go get a massage. They asked her to pay for the massage before she got the massage, and then asked for a tip before she got the massage, and then got mad when she tipped like 10%. What? That's crazy. What be on y'all's mental for real? Why not just increase your, if you want the tip that bad, increase your prices.
And they split it 8 ways. $5 for 2 people. Look on this. I swear.
I had a good friend of mine that used to be a waiter at Applebee's, and every time we went out to any restaurant as a big group, he would make sure that we tipped on top of the tip, you know, the gratuity that's added. So one day I asked him, like, yo, Cal, man, what's up with the tipping thing, bro? We ain't balling. His perspective changed my entire attitude toward tipping. His perspective was they gave him a $140 check. I'm like, dude, minimum wage is $10. What you talking about? They gave you a $140 check. He said no. For waiters and waitresses, it's $2.30 an hour. Imagine you working for 2 weeks and they handed you a $140 check with the taxes took out. And I'm pretty sure somebody gonna come in the comments, what about the waiters and waitresses with bad attitudes? They shouldn't get a tip. You also have customers with bad attitudes that give waiters and waitresses bad attitudes. Trust me, they know exactly when you come in the door.
Hi, this message is for the couple that just ran me absolutely ragged, that needed 1,000,000 refills on water, 100 limes, and every condiment that we have in store. You left me $1.48 tip to make it an even 50. Thanks for that, very generous. Anyway, I decline your $1.48 and took a $0 tip so that when your bank statement comes out, it's not an even 50 and it's really fucking confusing. Get fucked.
I fucking hate tipping culture, bro. You cannot tell me it's normal to underpay your staff, expect the rest of us to pick up the fucking bill. Only in America would that shit fly. Oh, let me tell you bitches what happened. So I went to go buy lemonade today. Just the lemonade. So I went up to the counter and I was like, hey, can I get lemonade? You know, I just ordered. The bitch who took my order literally just stood there, didn't move, pushed a little screen to take my order, then had the audacity to ask me, how much do you want to tip me today? For what? What did you fucking do? He wasn't even making the bloody drink. Obviously, I said fucking nothing.
Let's do a Tuesday night tip count, and I'll explain why I'm about to put in my 2 weeks, because it's absolutely ridiculous. The bill was $500. It was split 3 ways. We got 15, 15, and 3. So on a $500, I was really interrupted by a phone call, sorry. So on a $500 check, I got $33. If I'm going somewhere for my birthday and I'm bringing 15 people, I'm gonna take them to a restaurant that I like or have heard great things about. I'm not gonna go somewhere where I don't know anything on the menu and I get upset when, but like, this is all y'all got when you look at the menu. Yeah, that's what we have. That's what we have, yeah. 16 on 84 with a cute little thank you. You're welcome. Love you. 9 on 45, 9 on 47, 30 on 148. My regulars, love them. 16 on 62, and 15 on 80. Let's count. And looking at me like I cooked the food and I'm the problem. Oh! Let's count this cash. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80. So 180, 185, 190, 195, 200, 205, 206, 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 212. 212 cash. I owe the restaurant 121 because people paid in cash. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 21. I tipped out $38. And I'm walking home with 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. Like, yes, my shift was only 4 hours, and that's like good money in that time span, but like, can we just treat humans like humans? It would make time.
I'm literally at the airport at the self-checkout machine buying a water. Self-checkout. Who is this even going to? Like, I'm again at self-checkout.
Tell me why I just got frozen yogurt, which is self-serve. You do it all yourself. And at the end, there was a tipping screen. For what? Like, what are you talking about? What? Am I tipping you for just simply existing and like being present at your job? It's so weird. I was a server for many years, so I completely understand tipping culture and the fact that you should tip people providing you a service. Why? Please. I always tip every single time there is like a screen that pops up asking for a tip. I give a tip. This is getting absolutely outrageous. And I think what makes me the most mad is it just gives companies an excuse to like not pay their employees well because they rely on tips. If it's not a job where they're actually performing a service, pay your employees a fair wage instead. How about that?
Why do you guys go to restaurants and not tip? I got a table the other day, $50, $0. I'm trying to cover up the fucking signature. Young couple, looked like they had money. I know I shouldn't judge, but based off of the brands that they were wearing, $0? $0? Did I do something wrong? I was like, what? Like, I was so confused, but that bitch says $0, and they didn't leave anything on the table. I literally went back and checked twice if they left something on the table. Why do you go to restaurants and not tip? I don't get it. I get in other countries, they don't tip, but this is America. It is what it is.
You're no longer allowed to not tip. Watch. So the internet was really mad at this picture where this guy went out to a restaurant, he spent $20.95, and when you go to the tipping options, you get the no tip option covered up with tip, thank you. This guy was baffled, so he took a picture and he posted it on the internet. And of course, the people were going insane in the comments, saying that they would have ripped these things off and hit the no tip option. But some people were saying that the no tip option should be taken out completely, forcing a mandatory tip every time you go out. But that begs the question, what should be tipped and what shouldn't? Because there is self-checkout machines asking for tips. And a lot of people are put off by this in the first place. They wouldn't even leave a tip. They wouldn't even go to this place to eat. But what do you guys think about this situation? If you were in this situation, would you have left a tip or not? Or would you have just peeled that off and hit the no tip? Let me know in the comments.
I am so over tipping. It's gone too far. And so here's my new perspective, my new strategy when it comes to tipping. Number one, I am not tipping anywhere where they ask me to tip before I experience the service. For example, I went and got a $9 smoothie the other day, and right when I was like ordering my smoothie, I was like, oh, I'll get the breakfast smoothie. Then they're like, okay, it's just gonna ask you a few questions. The answer is no. One, y'all haven't made my smoothie. 2, I haven't tasted my smoothie. 3, I don't even know if I'm gonna like this smoothie yet. Why am I tipping? Like, I'm not tipping. Also, it's a smoothie. It's not like a sit-down restaurant. Like, what are we doing? There's a lot of places that make sense to tip, like restaurants. You experience the food, you experience the service, you're sitting down, you're being served. Of course you leave a tip there. But again, that tip is based off the experience. Okay? Same thing. Nail salons. You get your nails done, you pay and you tip based off the service. Okay? I'm not tipping preemptively. So that goes for coffee shops where they turn it around, ask you questions, ice cream shops, anywhere like that. Ice cream shops alone is just a no for me. You scooped my ice cream for 15 seconds and put it in a cup. Like, no. You guys are paid hourly. Like, hourly rates. If they're not enough, talk to your employer. But why is that burden being put on the consumers? I will never understand. As a business owner, imagine if every single time you guys bought a planner from my site, it was like, oh, just leave a tip. Leave a tip for what? We hand make all your planners, and I'm still like, leave a tip for what? No.
When you go to the USA and you're a tourist and you're not used to tipping, but then you go to a restaurant and then you see the little tip line, if you put $0.00, a portion of that meal is going to be taken out of the server's paycheck. I know it sounds fake. I know it sounds like bullshit. And I know it's not fair, but it's true. Do I think that America needs a little bit of reform, especially when it comes to our tipping culture? Yes. Do I think it's getting out of control? Yes. But when you're a tourist, it's not your job to be like, I'm not gonna tip because it's my form of protest. If there comes a reform, it has to come from the waitresses and the waiters themselves. But that's not up to you. You don't get to just say, no, I refuse to participate, because what you're doing is you're fucking over your servers who are just working, and oftentimes servers live paycheck to paycheck. I saw a story on here of like a person, it was like a 20 top, which means 20 people. She was serving 20 people, and it was a $400 check, and they only tipped like $25. She had to give like $24 to the pool of like hosts, cooks, bussers, and she made $1 off of a $400 tab. Do you know how much the restaurant pays us outside of tips? I think at Texas Roadhouse where I worked, I think I made like $2 an hour. So when you choose to tip $0.00, it's not the cute little form of protest that you think it is. You're literally denying your server who's waiting on your beck and call. You're denying them a meal or a tank of gas. It's important that you put aside your personal beliefs about tipping and actually just support the people who are serving you, because you're only in the USA for a couple weeks. You can't make fundamental change. All you're doing is taking money from servers, literally taking money from servers. I know it sucks. I know it's not fun, but if you can't afford to tip, then don't go out to eat. That's just the fact of the matter in the USA. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but when you visit a country, you need to conform to the country's customs. People always tell us that when we go abroad, so it's only fair that you guys would respect it in return.
Okay, so you're black, therefore you don't have to tip? Is that what that means?
Hey guys,
I just want a little bit of clarification. What does this mean?
don't know.
You don't know what black means?
I do.
Okay, so what did you mean whenever you wrote it on the gratuity?
I'm talking about me.
Okay, so you're black, therefore you don't have to tip? Is that what that means?
Oh, I didn't know that it mean not tip. I'll tip you.
It's fine. I just wanted to know why you wrote that on your check.
That was for me, but I'll tip you if you.
No, I don't care if you tip me or not.
No,
I just want to know.
I wanted to tip you. I didn't know what that meant.
So you wrote black?
That's what he.
Is that your favorite color or?
No.
Okay.
That's what he told me to write it.
Okay. Well, Well,
can I tip you?
I mean, if you, I mean. If that's what you want to do, I'm not begging you for a tip. I just want to know why you wrote black on your check.
He told me to, but I was wanting to tip.
Oh, you were wanting to? So okay.
I didn't know what that meant.
Thank you.
Y'all, so me and my sisters went out yesterday. We went to Applebee's and we got some drinks and we got some appetizers. And when the bill came, the bill was like $47, right? And I ended up paying through my phone. You know, you can scan the ticket and you can pay through your phone. So as I paid through my phone, the server is like, oh yeah, whenever you're ready. And he peeped that I paid through my phone. So he never came back to the table because on my phone, I didn't leave a tip because I wanted to tip in cash. But the server didn't know that. So he never comes back to the table. And we're trying to give him his money because we didn't want to leave it on the table. We thought that somebody would take it, like a busser or whatever. So this is T. So he gets sat the next table over us, so he has to come back to our section. So he doesn't come back because he thinks that we stiffed him. He thinks that we did not tip him. And I feel like a lot of people have this stereotype on black people that we don't tip. And guess what? Y'all don't. I do, because I'm a servant. I tip because, like, they're literally servicing you. They're servicing you. Yes, you ask for ketchup, you ask for hot water, you ask for all this shit and you don't want to leave a tip, right? I get, yeah, there's a stereotype on black people and they feel like black people don't tip. And I'm here to agree and feel like, yeah, they don't tip. But I hate when that stereotype is put on me. That sucks. So he never comes back, but he finally comes back and we give him his 20. He's so happy and you just can tell that he never really get a 20 from black people. And that sucks. Like, we gotta do better.
I don't understand. America's tipping culture is crazy. You go to the nail salon, you have to tip. You go get your hair done, you have to tip. You go get food, you have to tip. You tip on top of a tip because it's just tipping, and everybody expects to be tipped. Like, if you're working for me, you're expecting me to tip you something. Like, it's not the same in other countries. When you go to Kenya and you just do your job, people pay you for the job you've done, and if they feel like it, they tip you. Here in America, it's just crazy.
Seen the video of the woman who orders DoorDash and she decides that she's going to pay in cash instead of paying on the app. The woman, the DoorDash lady, comes and gives her the food and she hands over the cash and she's like, no, don't worry, keep your tip. She's like, no, take it. And she's like, no, I left you a note in your food. The woman opens the note and it says, I didn't do anything with your food this time, but next time tip your driver. Sorry, so who are you? First of all, I don't know why you're expecting other people to keep your lights on at home. Go for the people that you're working for because they should be paying you more. It's not right. But let me show you one of our bills, right? So £543 for 4 of us. It was a great night. Delilah's, honestly, 10/10, cannot recommend enough. You first get charged an entertainment fee, £21.72. Now, you chose the entertainment. Why am I paying for it? If I'm choosing the entertainment, I should be able to select songs, right? But the burlesque dancers, Then they do included gratuity, 20%. Now, that is service charge. That should be where the deal ends. It should end there, £108.60. Now, listen, we're fine with this. We will pay this. Total tax, £55.66. Again, listen, if that's what you need, take it from me. So the balance is then £728 from £543, mind you. Then suggested tip. Now you're taking the piss. Now we did pay, and I only ever pay 18 because I think an additional £100, bearing in mind you've already added 20% gratuity, is insane. Insanity, darling. So they end up getting basically what? I don't know how much, I can't do maths, but a lot more.
Not even opposed to tipping, but how are you expected to tip 20 to 25% for doing the bare minimum or you're guilt tripped? I feel like you tip people that give above and beyond service. It's like a reward for being extra nice to the customers or doing a really good job. Or when someone's delivering a food to you and they have to go through this rough weather. Or when the worker's working on really busy hours or holidays like Valentine's or Christmas. Then sure, yeah, I'll be glad to tip. Even though I come from a culture where there's no tipping, I respect it. But I hate it when tipping is expected. It's a courtesy, not a requirement, and some workers are really entitled to it. And people are like, if you don't have any money to tip, then don't go out. No, your employer should pay you more or pay you enough to do your job instead of relying on the customers to pay your wage. And sometimes there's a tipping option for a self-checkout. Like, are you tipping a machine? What's going on? And it gets even more awkward when you're being asked to tip someone for taking your order that you're taking to go. It's getting worse because everything becomes 20% more expensive. Like, one time I got a bottle of juice from a cafe. I grabbed the bottle myself and gave it to the cashier so that they can scan them. And they flipped this iPad around with this tip screen. Like, you did as much work as someone at a grocery store. What am I tipping you for? I feel like tipping is okay as long as the customer is satisfied with your service, but I don't think it's something that should be expected or demanded.
Culture in America is out of control, but it's the biggest life hack if you do it correctly. I was at a coffee shop in Miami recently. I ordered a cappuccino and there was a $2 mandatory service charge on my bill for making me a coffee. I'm totally fine with tipping well for great service on a 3-course meal, but a mandatory service charge on a coffee? I go to Starbucks and grab a water out of the cooler, self-serve, and purchase it, and they flip the screen around and ask if I want a tip. It's just gonna ask you a few quick questions. I know what the questions are. Tipping for little things like that is absolutely ridiculous. However, tipping is the biggest cheat code in the book if you do it properly. If you go to the same bar or club every weekend and there's always a line to get in, when you get up to the bouncer, shake his hand, ask for his name, and then slip him a $50 bill as you walk in. He's gonna remember you every single time you show up to that bar, and he's gonna let you cut the line every single time. Same thing with a nice restaurant. If you tip your waiter 100% of the bill one time, and it's hard to get a reservation at this place, anytime you need a reservation, you can hit this person up and they're gonna get you right in. If there's a hotel lobby bar you go to all the time, give the bartender a $50 or $100 bill. They're gonna remember you forever. They're gonna hook you up on cheap drinks. They're gonna introduce you to other wealthy people sitting around you. It's the biggest cheat code in the book. Save tipping for strategic situations and good service, but not tip. In the United States has gotten out of control. Just finished dinner in Italy, had a great 3-course meal, paid the bill, the waiter brings out the check and goes, sign here please. I go to sign it and there's only a line to sign your name. There's no tip line, there's no total line, nothing. You just sign your name, that's it. Meanwhile, in America, you pay for a water bottle and they flip the screen around and ask you to tip 20 to 30% for grabbing a water bottle. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to tip for great dinner service. Like, this guy in Italy deserved a fat tip, but to tip for a Starbucks employee to hand me a water bottle, like, where do we draw the line? Seriously.
Factor my tip into my price. I'm not really a fan of tipping culture in our industry. It's kind of awkward. Babe, just factor your tip into your price if you're that desperate for it, and tell your clients, one, they all appreciate that because they don't feel uncomfortable. Sometimes they still tip me. Yeah. Okay, which is awesome. But I tell them, I'd rather you buy retail. That's a bigger tip for me, but it's also going to help me with your next service. And it's actually going to do something for you at home. Yeah. So if you really want to tip me, buy something from me.
This one is for service providers. I really appreciate what he said, talking about including your tip in the service. If the tip is a big deal for me, and I actually made a TikTok about this maybe a year ago. I think I did make a video about tipping on my TikTok, because let me tell you, it really hurt me because I seen a client was crying about, like, oh my god, they was really feeling bad that they couldn't be able to tip, and it's not because the work wasn't good, it's because they just didn't have it, and they had to explain to their service provider. And I was like, oh my god, like, I hope my clients never feel so bad to the point where they're like trying to explain to me why they can't tip. Because let me tell you, on my end, I really don't expect no one to tip me at all, because I set my own prices, just like he said. So if I really wanted it to include, like, in my prices for my lash extensions, like, y'all know lash extensions range from $150 all the way to $200 depending on what location you're in, so don't come for me in the comments. Yes, lash extensions are very expensive. So the thing is, if a tip, I don't ever expect, like, I swear to God, I never expect a tip. Usually my clients still tip me, and to me it's usually like a surprise, and it's like oh my god, thank you, because I don't expect it. Because if your prices are set right, like, let's say all your sets $100 and up, and you say, okay, I expect my tip to be $5, just put it in your prices. $100 and $105 for a classic set, $115 for a hybrid set. Always include that $5 in there. For a volume set, $140, include the $5 in that set, so that you're not tripping, so that when the clients come and they tip you, man, to me it'd be like, oh my gosh, I'd be like so surprised, because I don't expect it. It's already in the service. Come get your service. If you feel like tipping me, you do. If you don't, you don't. I'm not tripping. I'm not the type to expect a tip from nobody. It's usually my clients are amazing. They do tip me regardless. you know? And that's the thing, like sometimes you don't want to be too pushy with, because you know the service providers, like I've had clients literally tell me this, service providers they went to, and since they didn't tip, like literally the service provider would start having like a whole attitude, like, why didn't you tip me? Oh my God, excuse you? Y'all have no customer service out here. For y'all to go and start confronting people like, yo, why you wouldn't tip me? Like, I just did your lashes for 2 hours. Like, why you not gonna add no $5? I cannot even see me doing that. It is absurd. It is totally absurd. And y'all need to start making these things make sense, especially service provider. I'm a lash tech. I'm speaking to the entrepreneurs, and business is business. If you are a barber, if you are a salonist, if you do paintings, if you do contracts, if you want a tip that bad, include it in your prices, and you never have to speak about a tip again. Period. Just let it be the price, base price. That's it. If they want to tip, good. If they don't, you're good. Problem solved. Now let's keep going.
Shopping for my wedding dress like a week and a half ago, and I ended up finding my dress at the first store that I went to. And I'm not joking, when I went to go pay, they flipped their little iPad around and it asked for a tip.
Shop asked for a tip is wild. See, that just put me on the side of tipping culture just gotten out of hand. Oh, and places like 7-Eleven, like, bro, I went over here and grabbed my own bag of chips. What you asked for a tip for? And you gas stations, I'm out here pumping my own gas, and I walk in and go get something to drink and come to the register to pay for my gas and drink, and you talking about let me get a tip. Not. And a lot of you restaurants, if I call in my order and I'm coming to pick it up, I'm not giving you no tip. There should not be a tip for every purchase that we make in America, G. Like, y'all got issues. Now, when I do go out to eat, I normally tip more than what I'm supposed to, simply because whoever my server may be, I don't know what they may be going through financially, so I'm always looking to help people out.
American tipping culture has gone crazy. I'm from Canada, and every single time I go to a restaurant, they automatically add tip. Like, they even add like gratuity, even if there's like a party of 2. On top of that, they ask for more tip.
Guys, I just got scammed. I didn't know they added a tip, and I tipped her like $10 extra.
You live in the U.S. Are you not used to this?
No, okay, listen, in Minnesota, they only add gratuity if it's like a party of 6 or more.
So I usually never tip when I go out to eat or when I get food or anything like that. I think tipping is not necessary. I feel like it's not my responsibility as a customer to subsidize wages. Like, it's not my fault that you don't get paid enough, you know, so I'm not gonna tip you just because you decided to work in this industry. And fun fact, in Japan, if you tip, they take it as you're belittling them or insulting them. Like, it's offensive to them if you tip. So maybe they should do the same thing here. If I have bad service, I won't be tipping. If I'm eating at a buffet, I won't be tipping. What are you doing? I'm getting my own food. All you're doing is coming around every once in a while and clearing the plates and giving me something to drink. I'm not gonna tip because I'm getting my own food. Thank you very much. If I am ordering to go, I am not tipping. Nope. 0. Not tipping. If I am at the mall and I order pretzels or I order, you know, Dippin' Dots, no, I'm not tipping either. I'm pressing 0 on that tip screen. You want to know the only people that I tip? Strippers. Because they're giving you a service. They're putting a whole act for you. They deserve that tip and more.
Are trying to play now. They are now covering up their no tip option on their credit card readers, ultimately forcing you to leave them a tip. And listen, man, I respect everyone working in the service industry, but come on. Tipping culture has gotten so insanely out of control. The number one rule that I have, and that everybody else should have too, is that if I'm standing, I am not tipping. I am paying you for a product, and within that product, your boss pays you to do your job, which is make that product. Like, let's say a coffee or a sandwich shop, for example. That is your job. You are getting paid to do that. Now, on the other hand, if you are doing something for me, if you are providing service for me, that is a different story. If you have to come over to my table and ask how I'm doing, how the food is, get me water, get me whatever, then I will tip you. But if I walk into a coffee shop and all I want is a nice coffee, I'm not tipping you. And now that I'm thinking about it, the only exception to the standing rule is if I'm in a bar. But of course, everyone knows the real reason why you tip in a bar. It's not for exceptional service, it's for service itself. But there's no way I can be alone on this, and this move here
That's total bullshit.
Tipping culture is out of control. This is a list of people I'm not tipping in 2024, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm not tipping at the drive-thru. I'm not tipping for froyo. I'm not tipping for Auntie Anne's. Yes, they ask for tips there now. And I'm not tipping on to-go orders. And I know the hostesses have such a huge problem. It's my opinion. And yes, I have been a hostess and a server in a past life. Anyone who sets their own prices, I will absolutely not be tipping you. The whole point of tipping a service professional is that you're paying the business like double or triple what the employee is actually making during that service. So if you're both the business and the servicing employee, why would I pay more on top of that if you're going to obtain the full 100% of what I pay? Doesn't make any sense. If you need a medical qualification or license in order to administer the service to me, I'm not giving you a tip. It goes against the code of ethics to accept tips for these types of procedures.
Did y'all know that servers, waiters, and waitresses, whatever, they only get the tip, bro? They only get the tip. I don't know if this is like common knowledge, but it's not minimum wage and tip, bro. Unless it's like kind of like a high class restaurant, but like Olive Garden, them niggas is only getting the tip. And unfortunately, it should not depend on you to pay them for working. But it's literally that. It's literally that. It's literally you give them $2 and they just serve you for an hour. They're only getting $2, bro. I know. And when I found this out, I was like, no way. Because when I was a kid, they used to think that like servers used to be bowling. But I was also like 6 years old. But even now, when I found that out, I was like, what? Yeah. But that's the truth, guys. Because I felt like people didn't know that. And I feel like that's why people don't tip, because they don't know that they only get the tip. But yeah, they only get the tip. Oh, and if you did know that, and you still didn't tip them, I hope that when you put on the shower tonight, piss just comes out. Just, yeah.
People that don't tip at restaurants are fucking assholes. I don't care what spiel you give me about, the restaurants should pay them more. Bro, they're not gonna pay them more just because you don't tip someone. You're just fucking the waitress or waiter over. Common knowledge with Joe Bar, you averagely tip 15 to 20%, right? If they do really good, you tip 25, 30 if you got the stacks on you, you know what I mean? If they do really bad, you tip 10. If they do really, really bad, you can do the penny trick. The penny trick is where you get a water, you put a penny in it, you flip it over on the table, you leave. But that's if they're like an actual dickhead. I've done that one time ever because the lady cursed at me, rolled her eyes at me when I did like fucking nothing. I don't know if like she got broken up with the fucking second before she seated my ass, but she was a fucking dickhead. And I said, nope, this is the first time ever I'm not tipping shit. I did tip shit. I tipped a penny. I tipped a penny, left.
This is part one reaction of an employee who did not receive a tip due to the bad customer service and discrimination. She snatched a debit machine out of my hand, as well as she put her hands on me. So y'all let me know who to call, because the manager did nothing about it.
Let's see how much I can make on a Friday night. I got here at 4. I'm leaving at midnight tonight. I am in an okay section. I'm sharing my section with somebody. I think I want to make $2.50. It's karaoke night, super busy, $5 margaritas. I think we got this one in the bag, guys.
So I am finally done. It is 12:10, I believe. Today was such a long night, but it was so slow. Fridays just have not been hitting like they used to. So I don't know. We'll see how much I did. For card, I have $177. I think my managers are watching my TikToks because they gave me this little tip jar to put my cash in, so that I'm not putting it in my apron. And it was these little hot pads for the plate. Isn't that so cute? I guess my videos are working. I'm making a change at work. 8, 9, 49 plus I made $2.31 before tip out, which honestly, considering how slow it was, that's awesome. I don't think I made my goal after tip out, but it's okay. $2.31 is honestly super good for how super slow it was today. Well, actually, $2.32 is at $1 in quarters. Anyways, I'll let y'all know how much I have after tip out.
You gave an $8 tip. What the hell are you looking for? I gave an $8. Okay, I'm gonna bring the food back. I'm gonna bring the food back. Okay. You can leave it. Thank you. No, you, actually.
I'm sorry?
I need to speak to you. I don't think you realize where they're coming from, so I need to speak to you.
Where what's coming from?
Where the food you ordered is coming from. I don't think you realize the distance that it comes from, because then you would never actually have given what you gave. So I think you can come and see face to face. Because I drove 40 minutes. And it was extremely far, and I got it to you early. So I don't think you realize where you ordered from.
I don't understand. You
well,
40 minutes from where?
From the restaurant that you ordered from. Do you realize how far it is? Do you realize you ordered from Colmac and you're in Smithtown?
That's a 15-20 minute drive.
It's not. You need to try to drive it. I just drove it. It's 40 minutes. It's 12 and a half miles. So I don't think you realize how far it is.
So why think you accept the pickup if you think it's that far?
They don't let us know how far. So I think you need to adjust your tip. Right.
How much is the tip?
You gave an $8 tip.
What the hell are you looking for? I gave an $8.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the food back. Okay.
Okay. Is she fucking kidding?
$8? That's a lot.
40 minutes it took her to get it? Okay.
My DoorDasher just destroyed my entire DoorDash order because I didn't leave a tip. Now, this may be divisive for some people, but I didn't have the money to leave a tip. I just wanted some DoorDash. I just really wanted some DoorDash. So, let me explain what happened here. I got DoorDash this morning because my wife loves coffee. She loves a medium latte from Dunkin' Donuts. It's her favorite thing to get. So I decide to, before she wakes up, get a medium latte from Dunkin' Donuts. Next thing to wake up to, she wants a strawberry donut. I got her order memorized. We got it synced. We're locked in Neuralink. I am just baffled. It takes 2 hours to get the order. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I didn't leave a tip. Now, this is gonna probably spark some debate here immediately upon me not leaving a tip. I just didn't have the money to leave a tip. I really didn't. I just want some DoorDash, and I didn't have the means to leave because my wife freaks out when I leave in the morning because she likes waking up next to me. It's like her favorite thing to do. So I come downstairs and I sit right here. Right, I sit right here. I'm still in the building. So just in case my wife wants to know where I'm at, I can rush back upstairs. She doesn't freak out because she just has attachment issues. So we're just gonna get out the way. So I'm like, cool. And I freak out too. Not gonna lie, I have attachment issues too. I love being next to my wife. So let's get into this. The person comes up and they immediately see me and their eyes turn red and I get confused. I'm very perplexed and they say, "You know, bro, I didn't leave a tip." And immediately this happens. He tosses it down. I'm a little bit confused. Why'd you toss it down? It was strange. It immediately tossed my drink down. I was confused. My drink is right there. Just tossed my drink down from not leaving a tip. I was a little bit perplexed. I said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Have a good day." And he walked away. Now, naturally, I should expect this. I'm in Detroit. I should just know this. This should be par for the course. But it really messed me up. Is a tip that serious? Is that real? Is that a real thing? DoorDashers, I know you can see the tip. I understand that. But to destroy an entire order over the monetary value of what I just wanted this morning is insane. To waste the entire thing. It's still there. I'm just looking at it. I'm not cleaning it up. It's really insane to me to do something like that. That feels partially, I don't know, a bit of an overreaction, a slight bit of an overreaction in my opinion. Maybe I'm psychotic, maybe I'm crazy, maybe my soul is left adrift, maybe I'm just dumb, maybe that might be me, but this feels like a bit of an overreaction. And I taught DoorDash and explained what happened, and they said, "That sounds unreasonable. We'll definitely give you your credit back. Would you like to order the same thing?" I said, "Yeah, I'd like to order the same thing. That'd be great." Now I'm scared to not leave a tip. A little bit scared to not leave a tip. I'm a little bit terrified, honestly. This is a one-off instance, by the way. I usually try my best to leave a tip if I have the money. But this is insane. This feels targeted somehow. It's weird. This is weird.
It hurts your feelings. It hurts your feelings more when they tip you a penny. The food delivery service added this pop-up disclaimer as part of a pilot program.
It's 5 miles. And maybe there's a $1 tip, maybe. But it's just like, I don't know.
Are you going to take that order?
No, I'm not going to take that. Definitely not going to take that.
Do you ever tip the drivers?
I don't. I feel like we're already paying a lot, and the prices basically have been increasing ever. I've been using it for maybe like 7-8 years, and slowly it's always just been increasing. So I don't know, maybe if you want drivers to be tipped, there should be other incentives.
Lady ordered like 1 million pizzas, 1 million salads. Like, it smells really good, but like, this is insane. This crazy order is $365 worth of things, and when I accepted this order, it told me it was only gonna pay out $7, so there's the receipt. Literally, I don't want you guys to think I'm making this up. Like, I'm like literally crossing my fingers that this is a bigger tip than what DoorDash said it was gonna be. It's 8 pizzas and 9 salads. So they gave me a $10 tip, which is better than the $7 I thought I was gonna get. But also, you think $10 on an almost $400 order with almost 20 items is an adequate tip?
This is what happened when y'all don't tip the delivery drivers.
Hi.
Hello.
Come here, Max. Max.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to say, it's a nice house for a $5 tip.
You're welcome.
Fuck you.
Table of 6 just told me if I didn't remove their automatic gratuity charge of 25% that they would not be tipping me. Meanwhile, I'm carrying over 8 drinks for them. I'm like, guys, if you look at the menus in front of you, every single one says for parties of 6 or more, automatic gratuity of 25% will be added. I'm sorry. This woman gasps and is like, we are from Europe, where your boss should pay for your bills, not the customer. I'm staring at her, I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry. I have no control over this policy. If you don't want to tip me, you should get your food to go. She gasps again and is like, you think your boss would rather lose business so that you could get a good tip? I'm just staring at her like, ma'am, what? But I am so done being spoken to like this. I'm like, ma'am, I did not make this policy. My boss did. If you have a problem with it, there's a Panera down the street. This woman is like, grabs her family and sprints out the door. Meanwhile, 2 minutes later, another party of 7 sits there and literally tipped me 30% and called me beautiful. Go away if you're not going to tip. Go back to Europe.
We're not tipping 18 to 20% in America. Stay home. One person not tipping is never going to affect someone like me who is a volume bartender who does a tip pool and a tip share. However, I will tell you who it's going to affect. Server who does not share tips who has a 4 to 5 section table. A standard serving section is around 4 to 5 tables, meaning you are responsible for those tables the whole night. You are responsible for flipping them, turning them. The more people you get flipped and turned, the more money you make. Now, let's say somebody comes and sits in your section, them and their whole family. They sit there for an hour and a half ordering food, margaritas, drinks, taking up your time and your space. When the bill comes, they don't tip $1. That server now just lost money and paid for them to dine. Because that server has to do a tip out, meaning they have to pay a bartender a percentage of the alcohol sales sold, they have to pay a food runner a percentage of the food for them to run it to your table, and they have to pay the busser who bussed your table, and sometimes the hostess who sat you. If you are not tipping 18 to 20%, you should not be going out to eat. And if you still decide to, you should tell your server at the beginning of their shift when you first sit down that you are not planning on tipping them so that they can prioritize which tables they're going to take care of first. Meaning, instead of running for your 37 Diet Cokes and 4 sides of ranch, they can take care of somebody who's actually going to take care of them. Our grocery stores, there are liquor stores, beer distributors. Cook your own food, make your own drinks. Stay home if you're not going to tip. Don't even get me started on people who don't tip for elite services they choose to get done.
Just a little friendly reminder, you are not at all required to tip, like, ever. It's actually pretty insane to me how entitled the service industry has become, expecting a tip from you whenever you buy something from them, thinking that they can get away with bad service or not giving you exactly what you want. And mind you, this is coming from somebody that's generally pretty patient and even tips well for maybe good to average service, but I have a couple of non-negotiables when it comes to service. If I barely see you at all, or you take enough time to where I think that you're wasting my time, then your tip goes down. If the restaurant charges some sort of junk fee or hidden fee that isn't explicitly shown on the menu, your tip goes down, or you're not getting a tip at all. I don't care. Now, of course, you should be treating your service workers with respect, but if you're not getting the minimum service required, you have the power to not give them a tip at all or to give them a minimum tip. You have the power as a consumer, don't forget that, and don't feel required to leave a tip.
I just did something I've never actually done, but for the first time ever, I tipped based on service quality versus just following the standard crazy tipping rules. I just got my nails done, which I've been really cutting back on doing that because it's so expensive now. I tried doing it myself, but it did not come out very well. Also, like, the quality of product I got just wasn't very good. It chipped after like a day. So I went and got my nails done. The whole time she was trying to like rush me through the process. So as I'm sticking my hands in the light cure, it's only getting to like 20 seconds and she wants me to pull my hands out so she can paint the next round. Mind you, there's no customers behind me. There's not a line. There's nobody waiting to go next. Like, maybe if they were busy, but that's not what's happening here. It's lunchtime on a Monday. So I said to her, no, I'm gonna leave my hands in and let them dry. She said, no, they're fine. I said, no, I'm gonna let them dry all the way so that they don't bubble and chip like they do when you don't let them dry and cure all the way. I'm paying for it. I'm gonna stick my hand under here for 60 seconds every time. I'm paying for this. This is supposed to last me. There's a 60-second button for a reason, and it's because that's how long it genuinely needs to cure, okay? Every time I go and I like sit there for only 20-30 seconds under the light, they bubble, they chip 10 times faster than when it actually is allowed to cure as long as it's supposed to. So the total for my nails and my toes was $93, and I gave her $5. She was really rude about me wanting to keep my hands under the light for the right amount of time. She was really rude about me wanting 2 colors, even though it's the same amount of product. And she got to charge me $5 more for it. She was rude about having to do it. Like, I'm over it. Tipping culture has gotten nuts. If you're not going to do the quality of work, I'm not giving you 20% just because that's what the world has deemed that you should get just because. I'm going back to tipping on quality. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's not cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting canceled for this. I don't know. But that's not cool. We're all trying our best, and my dollar is just as good as your dollar, and so I want the quality of work that I'm paying.
Guys, tipping culture is insane. I went to buy one singular macaroon, £1.70. I thought, not bad. Went to tap my card, £1, £2.50, £5 for a tip. I looked at him, I was like, you can't be serious. Like, I'm not tipping you, mate. All you did was hand it over to me. I didn't even ask you a question or anything. So I take no thank you, and he literally rolled his eyes and scoffed at me. Bro, like, let's be real for a second. Why do you feel so entitled for a tip? We're in the UK, first of all. You didn't do anything, second of all. And, like, yeah, I think we should just calm down. Like, let's just, come back to earth. I know we're in a cost of living crisis, but I am also in that crisis with you.
Tipping culture in America has become absolutely toxic. This is coming from a server. Now, don't get me wrong, tipping is a must for servers. But when you're at the airport and the machine asks you to tip, that's a no-go. Why are you asking me to tip you if I did all the work? And one of the most annoying things is when I'm at the gas station and the clerk scans everything for me, and then she flips the little iPad and it has the 20%, 25%, 30%, whatever the hell it is, and no tip. And you know that that's gonna be a no tip because all she did was scan the freaking items. Now, tipping in other countries like Japan is a no-go because they prioritize high-quality service for everybody regardless. I just believe that restaurants should pay a lot higher than what they already do. Now, what most people do not know is the hourly wage that most servers get paid. I get paid less than $4 an hour. So as a server, having tips is basically our lifestyle, and it is a necessity for us. I know most people agree with the whole tipping thing at airports and most machines, but it is getting absolutely out of hand.
The estimate for this trip was $10, including an upfront tip, but the customer reduced the tip after delivery. You telling me, hold on. So you telling me I was supposed to get $10 and now I'm only getting $9.66? You no good. Look, customers who bag out their tip, this is for you. You no good, low down dirty. You lucky I'm getting a Grubhub order right now and my baby mama gave me some last night, so I ain't tripping too bad. How dare you take away 34 cents of my tip? You gonna take away 34 cents? What are you gonna buy with 34 cents, Uber Eats customer? See, this is why I be getting pissed off. I done sat up here and went and picked up your food, put it in the hot bag, closed it up, drove it all the way to your house, got out the car, went up there, dropped it off, and you telling me your raggedy ass, no good, you needed that 34 cents that bad? You needed it that bad. How dumb are you? How dumb are you? I would have still took the order if it said $9.66 for 2 miles. I would have still took it. So that made you feel good about yourself, taking that 34 cents back? What you finna buy with that 34 cents? Let me know. I really want to know. 34 cents. You telling me it was worth your time to go back in app and remove? Why you ain't just 34 cents? You thought I wasn't gonna notice? Well, guess what? I checked my earnings. And you lucky and see, this the thing. Uber Eats showed me a map of where I went and dropped it off too. I know not to deliver to you no more than that. Because ain't no telling what you would do. If you would take back 34 cents, it ain't no telling what you would do. You unpredictable out here in these streets. Are you kidding me? Man, I had to call my people. I said, bruh, do you know that this raggedy ass, no good, stank booty ass Uber Eats customer that took away 34 cents of my earnings, bruh? He said, bro, I'm about to pull up. I said, nah, bro, cool. It ain't even that serious. It's just the principle. I ain't never delivering to them again. Ever in my life. Because this is what you got to realize right here. This is what you got to realize. That's the only order they sent me all night. And I was like, hey, $10, 2 miles. I'm knocking that out all day long. I'm knocking that out all day long. But here's the thing. Now, if I see that map going down to that house again, I don't care what the dollar amount is. I'm going to have in the back of my head, well, damn. They done took away 34 cents. Ain't no telling what they'll do. I'm not about to subject myself to that. I'm not. It's just not happening. What's this on Grubhub? $13 for 13 miles? Hell to the no. Man, I'm mad as hell. I'm mad as hell. Am I mad about the change the no. It's the simple fact that Uber Eats allows these things to happen. Why are you allowing them to take back a tip when that's the whole reason that we accepting the order? You think I'm taking orders based on your base pay, Uber Eats? Hell to the no, I ain't taking no orders based on your base pay. Your base pay ain't paying no bills. I ain't getting no Prop 22. Hold on, let me see what this order is. $13 for 13 miles? I just declined this. Got me out here.
In my opinion, I've done like deliveries before, especially like I've done Uber before, I've done DoorDash. I used to do DoorDash a lot and all that good stuff. But in my opinion, I'ma say this, like if you feel like the tip is not enough and taking your tip off, why are you accepting these rides? Especially DoorDash. I'm gonna speak on behalf of, because when I was doing DoorDash, you literally can see the tip, you literally can see the amount you're about to earn. Why do you still tip? Why do you still choose to take that ride? See, now that's where y'all mess up y'all mind, because every time I tell y'all all the time, expectations leads to disappointment. You just can't expect, oh, I know this area. Maybe you picked it, you picked the ride or the delivery thinking, oh, I know this area where I'm about to drop. Even if there's no tip, I know it's some rich folk out there. They gonna tip me when I get there. See, that you're already putting an expectation in your head ahead of time, and only for you to be disappointed. So that's just the reality. A lot of y'all out here are just putting y'all expectations too freaking high. Don't do that. Don't go outside and that's just the reality. Like, other people are just coming, they look at the house you're living in, you don't tip them, the next time they're gonna put you on their list. Either they're gonna do some crazy stuff to your food. Like, you see what they doing. Like, y'all cannot play with these people. Like, y'all better off just going to get y'all own food, because this is not it. Like, it's causing conflict, it's causing tension, orders are being destroyed, orders are not being delivered. So it's like, just don't do it. Don't pick the ride, don't have your expectations too high, and that's it. Or even change and stop doing deliveries for food and up you if the money really is the issue, and tipping, and you're trying to make a whole bunch of money within a couple of hours or whatever. Upgrade your delivery services. Stop doing food delivery and start doing stuff like medical carriers. Medical carriers literally pay you so much more if the money is a big thing. But that's just me. I don't expect, so that I don't get disappointed. Period. Let's keep going.
I just seen a sign that says vote number 5 and protect tip workers. I mean, can we like seriously, this tipping culture has gotten a little too far out of hand and way too far out of pocket. And we're not gonna go there because I used to work for tips, okay? But the thing was, tips were offered. I didn't ask for it. This tipping culture is too much, and I don't like that. I do not like that. Why are you just taking my order at Starbucks and I gotta tip you? Tip you for what? Tip you for taking my order? Like, why don't we jump the people that want to pay you $5 an hour for all the work that you're doing? How about we get to the root of the problem? Because they're the issue, not me. Like, let me decide if I want to give you something or not, and I will. I got the heart, but don't force me. Don't make me uncomfortable. That's annoying. I don't like that.
A man was asked to tip 20% for an online pickup pizza order. TikToker at the J-Man Comes Quick posted about the incident, saying that he called the restaurant to place an order for pickup. He was redirected to the pizza place's website as they couldn't take an order over the phone for some reason. After placing the order online, which he did himself, it prompted him to leave a 20% tip at checkout. He asked, "For what?" and added, "What did you do?" Most commenters agreed with him, with many pointing their fingers at employers who don't pay employees a livable wage and then expect customers to tip to make up the difference. And that sentiment seems pretty universal. 74% of respondents to a Wallet Hub survey say that tipping culture has gotten out of control. And nearly 3 in 5 Americans think that businesses are replacing employee salaries with customer tips. There's a perception that tipping is everywhere due to a post-pandemic surge in requests for and expectation for tips at every turn. While service workers, like restaurant servers, still rely on tips to make up the majority of their wages, and not tipping hurts the worker, not the company they're working for. Consumers are starting to push back, especially in situations when there's been no actual service. And more people are getting comfortable saying no when it comes to tipping. Do you tip when you pick up a pizza?
Tipping at a restaurant is not optional. It's mandatory. And I'm gonna tell you why, because you're gonna chew my head off. Anyway, listen. When you go to a restaurant, you pick a restaurant, right? You choose a restaurant because you want to have a good time at this restaurant. You choose a restaurant because you may want to be a little fancy, get dressed up, be cute or whatever, right? There's 4 things in place at fancy restaurants. There are servers, there are bartenders, there are bussers, and there are food runners. That's just standard, right? So you go to a restaurant, get your table, your server comes out, and they're like getting your drink order, you're getting your appetizers, you're getting your entrees going. The bartender's over there shaking up your cocktails, making them nice and pretty. The kitchen's in the back, killing your entrees right now. And then your food runner goes and grabs your drink, right? They bring it to the table. Drinks at the table. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Look at this drink. Pick. Instagram story. The food runner goes to get your food, brings your food to the table. Oh my gosh, look at this entree, it looks so good. Pick. The family group chat, because you gotta tell them about it, right? Boom. You know what's happening right now though? You know what this is? This is called an experience. And experiences are curated by the people I mentioned, the bussers, the bartenders, the servers, the food runners. We created this whole moment for you. And you know what's crazy? You didn't have to lift a finger. We did all the work for you. We brought all this stuff to you, and you're enjoying yourself. You're having a time of your life. But you know what's crazy about experiences? Those are sold separately, right? The bill, the food, the drinks, you pay for that because you ordered that, so that's what you got to pay for. But this experience, this moment of satisfaction that you feel, this little feeling you have, well, I really enjoyed myself tonight. I did that. I made that happen, along with your good company, but I made that happen. So therefore, I need a tip. Show me appreciation, big dog. So that's the thing about people sometimes they're like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't have to tip you. I feel like your job should pay you a livable wage. That's fair. That's a fair opinion. About that though, that $30 steak you had tonight that you really enjoyed, next time it'll be $90. That fettuccine alfredo you always get because you're basic, $25 tonight, $65 next time. Because you don't want to tip. I should have to tip. Okay, we're gonna get our money though, because if I'm working here and giving you this experience, I gotta get paid. So if they pay me a livable wage, that's what it's gonna cost you. So either you can tip me now or pay for it later at $90 a steak. I'm just trying to make it make sense for you, big dog. Because if you don't want to pay for the experience, go to McDonald's, go to Wendy's, or better yet, get takeout and then go home and create your own experience. Just don't sit in my section at my table, waste my time, and don't give me a tip.
Here's what happens if your job forces you to share your tips. Some employers collect everyone's tips and distribute them evenly sometime after the shift. We call that a tip pool. That's legal so long as no one with hiring and firing power participates in the tip pool. But there's another thing. A customer may decide that they want to tip you specifically. When that happens, the tip becomes your property. That can create conflict because other people in the tip pool wouldn't get that money. They can throw a fit if they want to, but they have to let you keep that tip.
If you can't afford to tip, don't go out to eat, because I just had this family come in. I go to them for a drink order. This woman's literally looking at me like I'm a zoo animal or something. And she's like, I haven't even found that on the menu yet. Now I'm looking at her like she's a zoo animal, but I'm just like, okay, it's on the back. I'll come back in a few minutes. So I go and drop off some food. I come back. She's like, what did they order over there? I'm like, oh, that's our eggs Benedict with smoked lox. She's like, I need it. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Like, I just want to let you know it is an upcharge for the lox, about $7.50. She's like, $7.50? Her and her husband immediately start going to a debate what feels like 5 minutes until I'm like, you could get it with like bacon or sauteed spinach. They're like, no, we want the lox, but is it a skimpy portion? Because we don't want a skimpy portion. I'm like, no, I think it's like a normal sized portion. Like, it's gonna be $7.50 though. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll get it. So I put the order in, drop it off, everything seems fine. They eat it, I drop off the check. Immediately they start debating back and forth again. I come back with the credit card machine, like, all set. They're like, we are not paying $33 for eggs Benedict. I'm like, I'm sorry, was there something wrong with it? They're like, yeah, the portions were horrible. If we went to the store, we could get an entire smoked salmon for less than $33. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, like, I have no control over prices, you know, like, this isn't a grocery store. Did you want to speak to my manager? This man starts being like, yes, we do. She stops him and she's like, we're not Karens, but it will reflect on your tip. Now I'm just looking at her like, okay, ma'am, I just want to remind you I have no control over prices. She sticks her card in and literally hits skip tip. Girl, take your knockoff Louis Vuitton and go back somewhere else.
Listen to me. If you go to a restaurant and you tell the server anything along the lines of, oh, we're gonna take care of you, you just earned yourself a huge tip. Anything like that, and then you proceed to tip them anything less than 20%, you are scum. And if you do that to me specifically, I will rob you.
Just because you order through Uber Eats does not mean that you're entitled to get a delivery driver. You got to understand a delivery driver is a private contractor. When you order through Uber Eats and DoorDash, they place in your order. After they place in your order, they send out orders to private contractors. If you're not tipping, who are you to think that a delivery driver is just going to pick up your food for free? It does not work like that. You have to understand that we're doing you a favor. You're not doing us a favor. I've said this in my last video. I want all my non-tippers to stop using the platform, and let's see how long Uber Eats and DoorDash still last. I can promise you it's going to last way more than you think, because we don't even want to take your orders or even interact with non-tippers, because everybody knows non-tippers are the most annoying people to deal with. They have the most instructions and they're the most likely to give you a bad rating. So if you're a delivery driver, why would you want to interact with somebody that's going to give you a low rating? And the non-tippers are 9 out of 10 times going to try to get some free food. Non-tippers are the biggest people to try to scam the system. We do not want you to use the platform. Stop using Uber Eats and DoorDash. You're wasting everybody's time. If you don't like us talking about giving us tips because we're doing you a favor, please get your lazy ass up and go get your own food.
This customer ordered sushi. I'm all the way up on 12 Mile. They need to deliver it all the way down to 7 Mile for no tip.
Who's this?
This is Gary with the DoorDash. I just picked up your deep fried sushi roll. I'm about to head your way.
Oh, perfect. I appreciate that.
Hey, real quick though, there is a matter I needed to discuss with you, man. I noticed that you didn't leave a tip in the app. You got some money at the door for me, or
what?
Some cash for me at the door or something, man? I got a baby on the way. I noticed you didn't tip me.
Oh my gosh, it's hard times. So I ain't got it.
Oh, you said you don't got it?
Nah, my guy.
Oh, okay, for sure. I'm gonna actually make a stop before I get to you. All right?
Nah, just bring my food.
Y'all hungry?
Huh?
Y'all hungry?
Always, man.
I canceled this order, man. He ain't tipped me.
God bless.
It's a deep fried sushi roll.
I love it.
But the sun kissed for you as well.
You even better.
Y'all enjoy that, man. Have a good one.
God bless.
Change the tip because when you go in there, they want me to give you $35 as a tip. I can't afford that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I changed it to $14.
Okay.
So what's the problem? I do that all the time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys, here we go. This is 6 days of work during the week, not even weekends. Once again, I work at a restaurant that families come into and sit down to eat dinner. I don't work at a strip club. I don't dance. I don't wear revealing clothing to work. I'm tired of all the comments that are like, oh, she does this, she works the street corner. Like, cool. Honestly, keep commenting because it just blows the video up even more. I don't know what you want me to tell you. And no, this is not a flex. This is informational because people think that servers can't make a lot of money, but if you're in the right location and you know what you're doing, you can make money. It doesn't matter where you work. Because there are people at my job who don't make the money I make. So I'm gonna count this for you guys. I worked last week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then this week I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. $3,346. And I just want people to understand that, like, I have been in the service industry for a long time and I know what I'm doing. I know how to upsell. I know how to talk to people. I know how to communicate with the table to make them have a good experience. Like, it's not the place you work, it's how you work and the energy that you put into work, because anyone can serve, but they're not going to be good at it. I do live in a hotspot city. I live in Florida. People travel here all the time. We have conventions in town where people come for work meetings, stuff like that. So I don't want people to think that, like, oh, if they're going to work at my job, they're going to make the kind of money I make. They could. It's a possibility and there is potential, but I know what I'm doing. So that's it for this week.
Look at all these orders. Look at this. No tip, no tip, no trip. Mandatory. No tip, no trip. Look at this shit. It's crazy.
Why do Americans feel so entitled to tipping? Like, I said hi to you, you didn't say anything to me, you have a fake smile on your face. I bought one item, you expect me to tip. Yeah, let me tell you something. I used to be that type of person that feel guilty when I don't tip. Forget that. If you don't want to tip, you don't want to tip. Like, you didn't provide no service. You just cashed me out.
I'm at a Cheapo Express at the airport. There are no employees, right? So, wait for this. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get an iced tea or something.
Now remember, there's no employees at the counter here.
Well, period. That's all I want. Now, I'm not gonna see any employees. I'm not seeing it all. This is what I say. I see a checkout here, right? Okay.
All by yourself.
Scan it. Okay. Now, I'm gonna flip you around just so you see what I see. See that? So I'm gonna say next. Would I like to leave a tip? I have not seen a single employee. I have scanned my own Perrier, and now the robot wants me to tip it. Should I do like 18%? Getting 20%?
So I go to Ben & Jerry's yesterday and I just wanted a cone. Just wanted a nice, fresh, warm cone. So I walk over to the counter and I was like, hi, can I just have a waffle cone? And she was like, yeah, sure. Here you go. That'll be $2. So I was like, okay. I go to put my card in and of course the tipping screen comes up. And I was like, I didn't say this out loud, but in my head I was like, I'm not tipping you on a cone. You literally just handed me a cone. And I'm also like, the percentages were insane. I was like, I'm not tipping you $1 on a $2 cone that you just handed me. I'm not. So she hands me my cone. I put my card in. It gives me like, how much do you want to tip? I hit no tip. And the cashier goes to my face, to my actual face.
And you have 2 singles, and you cannot get a tip because your tone was not gracious, and because I lost money, because the whole traffic was chasing me, and because I'm so ugly, nobody looks at me.
Alright y'all, so that's all for today. I really want to say thank you so much to everyone who has been coming to my channel, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, literally engaging, showing me love. Y'all in the comments been showing me so much love and I really appreciate it. I can't wait to get blown up because soon I'm finna be rewarding you guys for real. Like y'all have been showing me love. Like literally this is crazy. I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone right now, but like honestly y'all need to go watch all the other videos and put them in playlists so that y'all don't get bored. Y'all can go from one part to the next without having to click out and all that. Make sure you turn your notification bell on, and I want to wish all of you guys happy holidays. 'Tis the season to be jolly, y'all. But no, happy holidays. It's getting cold. Y'all stay warm out there. Y'all stay safe. Have positive mindset. Everything is going to be well. If you're worrying so much about a whole bunch of things, I want to tell y'all, do not worry about things you cannot control, or only worry about the things you can control. Okay, wake up every day with a positive mindset, with fresh new breath to breathe and new goals to tackle, and it's always a step closer to accomplish your goals. Well, with all that being said, I will see y'all beauties in the next video. Y'all have a good day. Bye.